The following is a Learfield presentation of the Georgia Southern Sports Network. On the Georgia Southern Sports Network, powered by Learfield, presented by Morris Bank, this is Hail Southern Live.
Glory to God and a bunch of great kids. It's college football, not the best thing on earth.
Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Coming up, your all-access pass into Georgia Southern athletics, including a visit with head football coach Clay Helton.
Georgia Southern is championships. That's what this place was founded on. And the expectation and the standard each and every year is to compete and win championships.
Hail Southern Live is brought to you by Morris Bank. Bleed Blue, Bank Blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC. The Georgia Lottery. Today could be the day. And by Savannah Hilton Head International Airport and the Savannah Airport Commission. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now let's head live inside Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Well, obviously I'm not Danny Reed. He's up at East Carolina University for the basketball game tonight up in Greenville. And right now the Eagles are trailing at half by 8. 37-29. Welcome to Wild Wing Cafe. This is Terry Harvin. Alongside of me is Chris Davis, our Chief Operating Officer. We're going to get into the season that was, the home season that was, because that was a big deal. Chris, we worked a lot in the offseason on game experience, and from concession stands to tailgating, the new Anthony P. Tippins Family Training Center. Did I say that right?
Training facility.
I mess it up every time.
We got you.
But with the new tailgate suites and everything, talk about that because we got a lot of survey information back, and it seems to be a positive hit.
No, this year was, for all of Eagle Nation, extremely positive at home. Naturally, can't say that, yeah, we'd love to go 6-0, right? That was definitely something we'd all love to be, but at the time, being 5-1 and what we were able to accomplish from a standpoint of game atmosphere, experience, where we were from, it really started with everything that happened over the summer, and as well as the planning that went into it, and so there was a big team effort across the board from an athletic standpoint that with a lot of planning, from you touched on a lot of the items, but one of the first and foremost things we really want to do is really raise our level of customer service because everyone, when they come to Paulson Stadium, wants to have a good time, but it's very important in today's world that you got to provide a first-class experience. People have discretionary dollars. We got to take care of that money being spent here with us, and one of the things we need to do is provide exceptional service. So, the Tippins Family Training Facility, Terry,
spot on.
that was, our student athletes got a chance to use it right out of the gate in August, and so right there, we knew that was a really fully functional facility for all of our athletes. And, it got tested early in August when we had that, the storm come through. And, shoot, right then and there, we had our men's team, soccer team. We had our women's soccer team in there. We had our football team in there. We had track and field come in there all on the same day. So that was a testament to what we had going on as it relates to the facility. And then you turn around to game day and you see what happened with that, as it relates to all of our tailgate suites being utilized, all 31 of them. And then the Eagle Walk experience, it just kind of it grew each game. And so the Anthony P. Tippins Family Training Facility and what we had in the indoor covered area, it was really, really good. Really, really good.
And that's just from a fan perspective side of it. Coach Helton can speak about how it has benefited the team because getting the workouts in when it's been raining outside. We had one of the suites as well. Absolutely loved it. But football, not just football, basketball, baseball, all the other sports also used it for recruiting on game day for the meals.
Yeah, huge benefit. The recruiting and our recruiting staff led by Ryan Smith and Miss Kennedy, she did a phenomenal job just planning that out each week and, bringing in recruits from all across not only the state but this region and having the opportunity for our coaches to come out and visit with them pregame and just everything we did to touch our recruits and to show that what Paulson Stadium, what Georgia Southern, and what's really neat is they're there and they get a chance to see how Eagle Nation is tailgating and just the passion that comes with being around Georgia Southern, huge. And one thing Coach Helton and Jared and myself and Matt Hassan who gets all of our operations going, one thing we touched on is we have not changed from when we started fall camp, we have not changed one practice for any reason.
That's a first.
That is a first. Like that, there's not been one iteration where we've been able to stay, right on plan for whatever we want to do, and that facility gives a huge thing. And then the parking lot, and we were talking about that today. The parking lot, even with the first 10 inches of rain and all that craziness that we had going into Game 1, that thank you Eagle Nation for sticking with us on that. But you go back and then you look at Game 2, Game 3, Game 4, Game 5, and Game 6. It just progressively continued to get better as all that area got a chance to kind of heal from all the work that got done. But it looks phenomenal.
It does.
And I think people really enjoyed it.
It's good to see the golf carts out there again and not little John boats.
No doubt.
I mean, at the beginning of the season, a little bit worried about that. But that was an awful lot of rain. But now you see it last Saturday, and the groups that put the grass down and the new way the parking lot is configured is fantastic. And then near the fan zone, saw that utilized by Allie and the admissions group. And then across the street, we have the neutral fan zone. So we add a lot of things. And then there's Lot 29. Which is a great new parking lot, and the RVers love it.
Yeah, so, I mean, all those areas from the Pack, the Rack, Lot 29, and then, all of our donor lots were all around Paulson were really well received and sold. And so I think one of the key things, Terry, too, is, you touched on admissions with Allie. Jared and a team really worked hard to say one of the things we continue to do is how can we continue to grow the footprint of Georgia Southern.
Yep.
And one of the things we could do to continue to grow the footprint of Georgia Southern is get more students to be interacting with Georgia Southern. And through that, we put together a really cool program where the last game they invited a bunch of incoming freshmen that have been accepted but have not made their decision to come to Georgia Southern and showed them what a game day at Paulson was like. Really, really cool. And so just one of those things to add the environment. You touched on concessions. We were real big on cleanliness, just making sure that the stadium, they call it the prettiest little stadium in America. There's no reason not to make sure that our grounds, not only inside the stadium but outside the stadium, looked really good. And then concessions, our surveys and concessions were the highest they've ever been. And they progressively from Game 1 to Game 6 continue to go up. And so options are good. Naturally, we did a lot with trying to help the lines queue properly, which I think helped people. Just like when you go and there's more organization and more well thought out. So great communication. Yeah, and having all the different varieties is a huge point as well. So it's been a big teamwork. A lot of people involved. We have tons of people across the campus. Our from command center and our police. Everyone's really pulled together. And I think one of the cool parts you saw too was those digital messaging centers.
Yep.
Just having them out on the bypass and having it to say, whatever it was for that given week, whether it was Pack Paulson, whether it was Pack Paulson for one last time. Really, really cool that it was something that was just done by the entire university. So got a lot to be proud of. But you know what? The work does never stop. So
keep doing it, make it better next year, right?
We already started thinking about things for next year and making plans and taking notes.
The expectations go up, but again, using our facilities for not just for like Andrew and Thurm to get out there to recruit all the football players, but it's also for Allie and the admissions office and all the other sports and coming together again. Going back to the whole alignment thing, it's really we're in a good position as we're building. This is sustainable. We're building for the future here. It's not a one-and-done thing. We're continuing to grow the program, all our programs, and there's been some challenges. We got to rebuild on some aspects.
Right.
But when it comes to facilities, I think we're definitely trending in the right direction. Basketball arena will be up here shortly, and I think coming up shortly, I'm going to be kicked off the air and we have to go to break. But Colin Lacey back here. It's always good to have Colin Lacey back with us.
Colin is back. Huh?
How about that?
Yeah, how about that?
Making a surprise return
cameo.
visit.
He's been on the road. He's like a different city every week.
Danny's not here. He's up in East Carolina, so I begged Colin to come bail me out.
But no, I mean, I know we got to go take a break, but for Dr. Morero with how he always talks about Georgia Southern athletics being the front porch, a lot of those things we got to make sure that we from Jared's leadership and just a complete alignment piece, and with all of our coaches, and I know we're talking football, but from Coach Helton and all of our other sports, we need to make sure that we not only are communicating at an extremely high level, but that when we're out there with our athletics foundation and raising money and talking about the vision of Georgia Southern athletics, it's extremely important that we know that we're communicating at a high level, but also that we're willing to continue to always assess and adjust and try to be elite in everything we do. And so it's great to be here. Thank you, Eagle Nation, for a great season. You know, we're excited. Y'all have a happy Thanksgiving. We still have one more game to play in the regular season this Saturday, and we're going to chase that one really hard. And then we get a chance, which is really cool, to be in a bowl game. And I think that's awesome for all of our student athletes and our staff to be able to go through that. But we still got one game to play, that, and everyone's focus is that for sure.
All right. I appreciate Chris Davis being with us, our COO, and also congratulations to Sharon Ponder out of the Henry County area. She won the golf cart from Eagle Nation Collective that was raffled off. Her name was pulled, and she won it. Congratulations to you, Sharon. You're watching Hail Southern Live. We come back. It'll time to talk to Big Key. This is Terry Harvin. Go Eagles.
Hey, you're the guy with Kevin the fire-breathing goat. Yep. I'm playing Keno right now. Like you say, you pick 10 numbers, Keno picks 20. The more you match, the more you win.
Looks like your numbers are matching.
No way! That was easy.
And there's another game in about 3 minutes.
Hey, little goat, you want to help me fill out my play slip for the next one?
No paper.
Whoa!
That's why he plays on his phone.
Win up to $100,000 every 3.5 minutes. Playing Keno. Play responsibly.
Eagle Nation, this is William Martin from Southern Exchange Company. We're proud to always bring you the best selection of Georgia Southern gear for game day and every day. Make sure to stop by and visit us at our store across from campus on Chandler Road or online at southernexchangecompany.com. Follow Southern Exchange on social media at SXC Statesboro for the latest gear in stock. Southern Exchange Company, the official merchandiser of Georgia Southern Athletics.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but great teams let their performance do the talking. Like the Ford F-150 truck with smart tech that'll help win the day and leave the competition speechless. That's why F-150 is the best-selling full-size pickup in Georgia and the official truck of the Georgia Southern Eagles. See your local Ford dealer today. Greatness starts here. Based on S&P Global Mobility Total, U.S. new vehicle registrations for the standard full-size pickup segment RYTD April 2023. Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change.
Eagle Nation, tune in to Inside Georgia Southern Football each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN+, and watch locally on WJCL Saturday at 11:30 a.m. Our weekly 30-minute dive into Eagle football features head coach Clay Helton looking back at the week before and previewing the week ahead. It's football season, and your inside look is each Monday, 11 a.m. on ESPN+, and Saturdays at 11:30 on WJCL. Inside Georgia Southern Football with head coach Clay Helton. Don't miss it.
Put a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball. This is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
You can have live college sports in your hand this year with the brand new Varsity Network app. Hear live, play-by-play, and keep up with your favorite teams and audio broadcasts no matter where you are with this free new app. Be sure to download the Varsity Network app today. This March, you can listen to exclusive Westwood One coverage of the NCAA men's and women's basketball tournaments for free on the Varsity app. Powered by Learfield. Listen to every game at a truly unique listening experience. It's all free. Search NCAA Championships.
Eagle Nation, don't miss the final home game of the regular season, Saturday, November 18th for Senior Day versus Old Dominion as we celebrate Ag Day. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Watch the blue and white one more time inside the prettiest little stadium in America. Celebrate Ag Day on Saturday, November 18th versus Old Dominion as we honor the 2023 senior class. Call 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hales Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe for Hales Southern Live. I'm not Danny Reed. This is Terry Harvin. Danny is with Georgia Southern's basketball team up in East Carolina as we're just starting the second half of action. The Eagles trailing by 9, I believe, right now. And hopefully Coach Henry will be able to come back and pull off the victory. And I know I told you Big Key would be with us. I wasn't really wrong. The Big Key is our big coach here. We'll go to Big Key next. Coach Helton's with us. Welcome to the show again, Coach.
Thanks, Terry. Appreciate you having me, buddy.
You know what? I want to do a quick shout out to the Schumans. They haven't missed a single show.
I know
right
they're there.
Front.
They're there every time. Every time.
Thank y'all.
Love them to death.
Thank y'all very much. And Coach, before we start looking forward, which I know you already have, we do need to touch base on last Saturday's ball game. It was the 6th home game. We end the season with 5-1. There's a lot of, we'd like to be 6-0, but there's a lot of schools that'd love to be 5-1 at home too. But played a very good Old Dominion team. I thought our defense did extremely well, and I thought their defense was pretty doggone good. That was a good football team we played.
Yeah, definitely. You know, coming into the game, I kind of knew it was going to be a close game. You look at their history. They had already been in 8 one-score games. This would be the 9th. And you knew a little bit about their defense, that was their strength. They played to their defense offensively. And lo and behold, we look up and we had our best defensive performance. So you go back and forth defensively, and all of a sudden you're sitting there 17-17 with about 1:25 left, and they go down and make a nice 2-minute drive and kick the field goal for the win. But I thought that, defensively by far we had our best game of the year. Really kept us in that game until the offense got jump-started. Thought there was 2 key moments in the game for our football team that kind of created the separation. One was a turnover at the 50-yard line.
Yep.
Really the only turnover of the night for both teams. And then the special teams play with the block punt. They gave it on the 29. Defense did a great job of forcing the 3 and out, but they get a field goal out of it, and it ends up being a 3-point game. So, the cleaner team won that game, and Old Dominion played a really clean game with no turnovers and no self-inflicted wounds in the special teams. And any time that you're playing that style of game, in that close a game, that's going to be the difference. And, in this league, which is probably going to have 10-plus bowl teams in it, you have to play clean, especially the last 2 weeks. We've been in 2 one-score games, and we've been on the other side of just a couple errors that have changed the direction of the game.
And that you mentioned the games that Old Dominion has been in. There's a few decisions in every one of their games, just like ours, really, that if it went their way, they wouldn't be talking about James Madison as much. A very good program. But Old Dominion might be in that driver's seat for the East. That's how close they've come. They knocked off App State. They almost knocked off James Madison. They played good football. Their defense really carried them. That linebacker, Henderson, I believe.
Henderson,
but
yes.
Our linebacker, Mars, wow. Once again, week in and week out, he stepped up.
Well, that was two good defenses playing on Saturday night. You look at our defense, and every statistical category from last year to this year we've improved in.
Yes.
Brandon has done such a great job. And leaders like Mar and Big Key, who's here, and I see Justin here tonight, they have really led the way to improving our defense and in leaps and bounds. And so when you're in those defensive battles, hopefully you can come out and not make that critical error. And we had 1 in special teams, and we had 1 turnover, and those two cost us points.
They did. I thought Bartholomew on one side, Hickman continuing to play well. They even got to the point they weren't even throwing towards Hickman. And so those defensive backs really stepping up. Offensively, again, Hood is Hood. And Burgess. Those are reliable. You're seeing that tight end come in there. I like to see that. Both of them, really. And, of course, the last drive in particular with some great catches across the middle.
Yeah, I thought that there were 3 interior players. Everybody knows Caleb Hood. But I thought there were 3 interior players that played really well. J.J. McAfee, who wore number 0 in the game, has been a leader for us all year and being a productive leader for us. Obviously, 2 big catches down the stretch. Keaton Upshaw, another explosive play he created in a one-on-one opportunity. And then the guy that gets kind of lost because of Caleb Hood is Dalen Cobb.
Yes.
And he's really coming into fold, and really, you could see Coach Ellis starting to build more and more for him. I think he's going to be a big part of our future moving forward. But those three interior players, I thought, had a really good night.
Jalen White had another good night, and I ended up with 19 carries, opening up some holes for him. You can really see, I always kind of joke, we talk about him, he kind of runs a little like Eric Dickerson at times, big kid. But I did get a question from Larry and Perry. He wanted to know, can you give us an update on Jalen White and that injury?
Yeah, Jalen, I feel so bad for him because he's missed about 2.5 games now, and he's sitting right at about 900 yards rushing, and he'd already be over 1,000-yard rusher. And kind of happened to him last year. He's got, thank goodness, it's a lower ankle, not a high ankle, so it's a day-to-day injury. We'll see where it's at towards the end of the week. He was in a boot yesterday and really trying to get a little bit of the swelling out. But, we'll see at his position, obviously, being a running back, you got to be able to have change of direction, and just don't know until we get back out on the practice field tomorrow exactly where he's at. He's a good one. We need him out there, but the good thing is we also have a good running back by committee. We got a very deep running back room, so we do have some folks that can step up. Yeah, definitely. Having a healthy O.J. Arnold back is a huge plus. And then you've seen Terrence Gibbs come to light. You've seen Big 31, Big David get in there and do a wonderful job. And T.D. Dixon come in. So we've got a plethora of backs that are helping us this year. And so we'll see where Jalen is. I hope for his sake he can get back quickly and put a stamp on a 1,000-yard season and help us to another victory. In the next segment, I'm going to talk to Big Key, and then afterwards, let's start talking a little bit more about the conference and then that trip up to Boone. Deal? Sounds good. All right, Coach Helton, I appreciate you. Update on Georgia Southern basketball up at East Carolina at the 15:33 mark. East Carolina is leading our Eagles 47-33. When we come back, we'll talk to Big Key from the defensive line. You're thoroughly going to enjoy it. This is Terry Harvin, and you're watching Hail Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro.
Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Your cargo transportation choice in Savannah and the Southeast. For freight management, consolidation, warehousing, and more, including flexible and responsive drayage solutions. Your success is our final destination. Savannah Logistics Group.
A logistics company that strives to deliver the best drivers, employees, and customer experience through our core values of empowerment, innovation, and consistency. Savannah Logistics Group, a proud supporter of Georgia Southern Athletics.
There's a lot of trash talk in basketball, but great teams let their performance do the talking. Like the Ford F-150 truck with smart tech that'll help win the day and leave the competition speechless. That's why F-150 is the best-selling full-size pickup in Georgia and the official truck of the Georgia Southern Eagles. See your local Ford dealer today. Greatness starts here. Based on S&P Global Mobility Total, U.S. new vehicle registrations for the standard full-size pickup segment RYTD April 2023. Some models, trims, and features may not be available or may be subject to change.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Condry Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that in the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. What a lightning bolt. 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
And put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world-famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball. This is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Erg Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
We're getting ready here. Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe, Hail Southern Live. This is Terry Harvin filling in for Danny Reed. I gave you a men's update score. They're up at East Carolina. I forgot to give you women's basketball. Coach Howard and the Eagles leading Albany State right now at the end of 3, 75-40. 75-40. Keep it going. Welcome, Key, to the show.
What's going on?
It's good to have you. I'm going to put this down a little bit. There, how's that?
Happy to be here. Appreciate you for having me.
You used to tackling quarterbacks. Now you're tackling wings tonight. So I know you don't want to be up here long. Who'd you bring with you?
I got Justin Rhodes. Got Sam over there.
You let him come back?
Yeah.
Yeah, he needed some support.
Yeah, a little bit.
A little bit. All right. From Fitzgerald, Georgia, two-time All-State, what made you decide to come to Georgia Southern?
Well, the question, when I visited, the question was really, why not Georgia Southern? When you think of Fitzgerald, like one main road, it's a small town, but the highlight is football. You know, when I visited Georgia Southern, I got that vibe here too. So the question was like, why not Georgia Southern?
I'm glad you decided why not Georgia Southern.
Right.
What has been some of your favorite memories as you go? This might be your last year. You might have another year of eligibility, yes?
Right.
Yeah, you're trying to decide. I know you went out there for senior day.
Right.
So I'm trying to put a little pressure on you like that. Anyway, I'm just picking on you. So what were some of your favorite memories of being a student athlete here, playing for the blue and white, being in Paulson Stadium?
Well, the memories.
You played in a lot of great ball games too, so there's a lot to pull from.
Yeah, but like surprisingly, the memories that I will probably remember the most will probably be the ones just like freshman year, just being in the dorm room with like Hood and Bo and a couple more of my classmates, and just hoping for one day having our opportunity to go out there and play and make plays. So being able to get out there and actually do it is special. Like those are the memories that I'm going to remember forever.
But we've talked a lot about the power of Paulson.
Right.
You guys went 5-1 in Paulson.
Right.
It's fantastic. Talk about that and really the impact it has on the game.
I mean, it's special, man. It's always special when you can go out there in front of all our fans, getting cheered on to win games. It's special at Paulson. It's electric.
It's electric.
Electric.
All right. You got a big ball game coming up Saturday.
Right.
And again, a team you know an awful lot about because you played them a few times.
Right.
And they recruit from the state of Georgia a lot too. So I'm sure you probably know some of the players on that team. Talk about that rivalry, not just so much about this game, but of course we can talk about that game, but you know what I mean, the rivalry App State, they feel the same way about us back in the days of the SoCon, and now here we are in the Sun Belt together.
I mean, well, every time we play out, whether it's a win or a loss, I mean, you're going to always feel it, like that week of practice, that week of preparation, like you can feel the energy rising, you can feel the tension, you can feel like it's a rivalry game, it's a special game to the community, to us, to the coaches.
Kind of like it's one of those games where you hear that cliche of you throw the records out the window because they don't mean anything in this game.
Right.
That truly is, because I look back and remember some teams where they were just clearly better than us,
right,
and we pulled out the win. And there were some teams that we were clearly better than they were. They beat us.
Right.
So you really don't know. And it doesn't matter. We've won up there too. Not as much, but we have gone up to the hill and we've beaten them. But we're going to have our hands full this week. It's going to be a good ball game, right?
Right.
All right. I got some fun questions to ask you.
Let's do it.
All right. Let's talk about your brothers on the D-line. I heard there's one or two that think they can actually sing.
Right.
Who would that be? Go ahead and call them out right now.
I'm going to say Isaac Walker.
Isaac Walker thinks he can sing?
And Justin Rhodes.
Oh, Rhodes does too.
Neither one of them can sing.
They
though.
can't sing?
No.
All right. But there's another one that thinks he can dance.
Yeah, they can't dance.
He can't dance either. Still Justin?
Yeah, he can't dance.
He can't
either.
dance. I love it. What will they, as we wrap this up, we talk a lot about the brotherhood.
Right.
So I have two more questions. What would you say when you go back to Fitzgerald, because you've been a good leader on the team as well. Recruits come in. We're about to go. You got the transfer portal and all that other stuff going on. What would you say to a player about why they should come to Georgia Southern and what it meant to you?
Well, first and foremost, like with this coaching staff, it's going to be real. Like it's honest, real, and not going to promise you anything. You're going to come, you're going to work, and you're going to get what you deserve. And just like the environment and the community, they love Eagle football, they love blue and white. So you're going to have people behind you every game, win or loss, ups and downs, good and bad. Special place to play at.
I lied to you. I got two questions. One, legacy. What will they say about Big Key when your career is finished at Georgia Southern? Or what do you want them to say about you?
I was a true Eagle. I did everything the right way. I was a hard worker, and I loved my teammates.
You do right.
All right.
What's your favorite wing in Wild Wing Cafe?
Gold Rush.
Gold Rush?
Yeah.
All right. Gold Rush it is, folks. If you haven't ordered your favorite wing yet, order Big Key's favorite wing. It's Gold Rush. Appreciate you for being on the show with us. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for bringing your friends with us and for ratting them out on the air. I think it's great.
Right.
We come back out of the break, we'll get a chance to talk to Coach Helton, and we'll start looking forward to Appalachian State. This is Terry Harvin. You're watching Hail Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe.
Don't let an injury keep you on the sidelines. So go where the pros go. Optum Orthopedics. They're the official orthopedics and team physicians for Georgia Southern Athletics. Thanks to Optum, our Eagles get the best care on and off the field. The good news is that Optum is here for you too. Located in our community, Optum is the leader in advanced orthopedic care throughout the Southeast. Like the Eagles, you deserve the freedom to soar. With Optum's fellowship-trained orthopedic surgeons, you will. Your team, your community, your freedom. Optum Orthopedics, they're here for you.
Did you know that Yancey Rents is a Georgia-owned rental company serving Georgia since 1914? Yancey Rents has excavators, dozers, backhoe loaders, small dump trucks, water trucks, concrete saws, light towers, scissor lifts, and so much more. We've got a huge selection of equipment ready to be rented today. Call 844-YNC-RENT or check us out at yanceyrents.com. With 16 locations around the state and a new expanded lineup of equipment ready to be rented right now, Yancey Rents wants to be your preferred rental supplier in Georgia.
When the game goes into overtime. But the game goes into overtime. The choice to enjoy is easy. Bud Light, easy to drink, easy to enjoy. Order Bud Light online today. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Bud Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Cadre Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that on the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. A lightning bolt, 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Wild Wing, I think I love you. Hey, Eagle Nation, this is Terry Harvin from the Georgia Southern Sports Network. Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro is your true blue home for hot wings, cold beer, and good times. Owned and operated by a proud Georgia Southern grad, Wild Wing Cafe is the official home of Hail Southern Live, the Eagles' weekly sports show every Monday night starting at 7 p.m. Whether it's for lunch, dinner, catering, or takeouts, you'll say the same thing I do every time. Wild Wing, I think I love you. Go Eagles and go Wild Wing.
Hail Southern and GATA.
At Georgia Southern, we have a rich basketball tradition to live up to.
Kick out left wing for more. Shot pick on Iheanacho. Pulls the 3. He swirls it home. It counts off the glass in the foul. And a free throw try to tie.
What a special opportunity. Our last season at Hanner Fieldhouse.
Curry to clean up in the dunk at 4-0-3.
It's only right we send it off in style with one last ride.
Listen to Eagle basketball all season on the Georgia Southern Sports Network.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Put a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball, this is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
Powered by Learfield. Welcome back to Hale's Southern Live, presented by Morris Bank. Make sure to tweet your questions to @GS Sports Network. Now, let's return live to Wild Wing Cafe. Once again, here's the voice of the Eagles, Danny Reed.
Welcome back to Hale Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. This is Terry Harvin. Danny Reed is on the road with the basketball team at East Carolina. I'll get you an update on that score here shortly. Coming back with us is Coach Clay Helton. Coach, I just finished talking to Big Key. What a great Eagle he is.
Well, I tell you what a special teammate he is to the brotherhood that we have. He's a great example of what we want in our team. Great person, great student, really, really talented football player. And, you know, I don't think there's anything that young man wouldn't do for his brother and his teammates. He is one of my favorites in 30 years of coaching, and one of them that I'll never forget. And we'll have a relationship with Big Key the rest of my life. I know that.
No doubt about it. He's always smiling.
Oh.
And I kind of want to ask one of the opponent's offense, is he smiling at you as he's tackling you too? You know, it sends false messages. But let's.
Well, he's one of those that, you know, we always say, you don't got to, you get to play this game. And every time he steps on the field, you can tell he's just having, it's a joy to him to be a part of this team and to help this team. And I'll never forget, as long as I live, this game last year, he made two of the biggest plays in the game that allowed us to win this game last year against App State. So thankful for him and thankful that he's a part of our football family.
Well, Rick Howard's thankful for him, too, at Wild Wings, because his favorite is Gold Rush, and that's Rick's favorite as well. All right, let's look ahead. We're going up to Boone, North Carolina, going up the mountain, a team in an area that we're very familiar with. All roads seem to go through Boone this time of year, you know, and it has been for us since the SoCon days. A lot of everybody likes to say a lot of hate. I think there's, you know, of course, it's a rivalry. You're not supposed to like each other, but there's respect there. This is a very good football team we're walking into.
Yeah, we love to compete against each other. I felt the passion last year of this game. I've been a part of some really big games in my career, whether it's an Auburn-Alabama game, whether it's USC-Notre Dame game. And I can promise you there's just as much passion, there's just as much competitive fire as a Georgia Southern-App State game. It was special. I'm going to tell you, my first time through it last year at Paulson Stadium, just electric. Two teams that love to compete against each other, love to compete at a high level. Last year it was to go to postseason play. Seems like these games in November against App State always kept mean a lot. This year we're both bowl eligible already and fighting for even bigger postseason opportunities. And so to go, this will be my first trip to Boone, North Carolina. I'm looking forward to the opportunity to be at their place. I know that it'll be electric up there, and got a lot of respect for what Sean does and his crew. They've had a great November, and they've put themselves in position to try to represent the East, and we've got a job to do to go up there and try to be 1-0.
And this game, it doesn't matter really what your record is at times. I don't remember any.
No, it doesn't.
It's always been just a hard-nosed football game, and I like it. I like going up to Boone. I like when they come here, and they're one of the teams like us, and I'll say James Madison's in that mix, and you have some other schools, Marshall at times, of course, Old Dominion at times, where their fan base is really into the games, and that's what you want. You don't want to go play in front of an empty stadium. Yeah, their fans they're fanatics for a reason, right? but at least it's going to be a great environment.
Well, I tell you this, what's really neat about this conference and what really intrigued me in coming was, there's so much history between the teams. When you talk about a Georgia Southern App State game or a Georgia Southern, Coastal Carolina, James Madison, Marshall, there's history there. And every time that you walk on another person's campus, you can feel the electricity in it. And so they feel it when they come down to Statesboro, Georgia, I can promise you. And so it makes the game so special for our players and for our coaching staff. And here's another one. Here's a great opportunity in late November in the last regular season game to go try to go get 1-0 and improve our bowl status.
There's really nothing you need to do to get the team up for this. They're going to be up. Same thing for Coach up at Appalachian State. Again, going into this ball game, they're coming off of a big upset. They call it an upset because JMU was undefeated, had game day there, didn't seem to phase App State. They went in there and knocked them off in overtime.
Yeah, they're hot right now. If you look at them, they started off a little sluggish back and forth, playing about 500 ball, and then the last 3 games they've really caught fire. And I think it started with their offense started to play better, started getting rhythm. I think, Sean does a really good job being an offensive line coach by trade, all offensive coordinator. He provides great balance. It starts with the run game, and he marries up the play action with it. And he's got Joey Aguilar playing really well right now. He's making good decisions, distributing the ball to several playmakers. And that defense, they do a nice job flying around, different pressures. I thought they really frazzled the quarterback at JMU last week with the amount of pressures that they brought, the different coverages that they brought. Had a great plan against them, and it was not a surprise to look up and they had won that football game.
Frank from Statesboro, what has made App State so difficult to play why are we playing them at the last of the season? Do you like it being there, and does that make it harder?
Well, I tell you what, I enjoy it, to be honest with you.
Rivalry week, last Saturday.
It's a rivalry game with so much. I don't know if it's coincidence, but I know the last 2 years, it's held a lot on the line. Last year, we were both fighting for postseason. Whoever won was going to get to go bowling, and you could just see how competitive a level. I mean, it was at the highest level. 2 teams clawing, fighting, scratching to get a victory. And you look at it right now. Now we go up to their place with both teams, have so much to play for, and the opportunity for them. I know they're still battling. We lost our opportunity versus ODU to represent the East. They still have that opportunity, and here's a rivalry coming in. So to have that last game be a rivalry game and so much on the line, that's what makes football fun. That's where you want to be at the end of November, and the competitiveness of this conference. And I said it in a couple other media things today. You're going to probably have 10-plus bowl teams in this conference. And it seems like every game in November you're fighting. It feels like playoff football. It feels like NFL football, that are all close games and teams that are fighting for position in postseason play. And here comes another one against a rival, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
One of the things, I said this last week, one of the things I love about our conference, Sun Belt, is the competitive nature of it. There's any week somebody's going to win. Nobody would have told you after they saw Texas State do what they've done that they would get 77 hung on them from Arkansas State. The way James Madison was rolling, that App State would come in. Things like that happening. Old Dominion and App State, very similar in their few losses. They've all been 1 scores. I think the biggest separation has been 7. Their average loss has been 4.5. They took North Carolina to overtime. Probably should have won that ball game. So them and Old Dominion are very similar when it comes to that.
Yeah, this league is so competitive. I swear, you look at the Arkansas State Texas State game last year, 28. Points right back to back. Whether it was turnovers, whether it was special teams. Any given Saturday, if you don't bring your A game in this league, you can get beat. It's so competitive. I think that's one of the reasons why this is the premier Group of 5 league.
Agreed.
Any time that you have 10-plus bowl teams that are going to be there in December, which is great for Georgia Southern. It's great for our league, because when we finally do expand to the 12-team playoff, and you're talking about the respect and reputation of a league, to have this style of competitiveness across the board is only going to help.
it helps with recruiting and recruiting. That's another thing about this game with App State. They do a really good job of dipping into the state of Georgia and stealing talent, and they recruit South Carolina heavily. We recruit South Carolina heavily, and we steal some from North Carolina.
Yeah, I think this is why I love this league so much, because it is a regional league. You know, you see so many conferences that are going across the country. This is 10 states that are combined together, and we all recruit within those. And so not only do our fan bases have the opportunity to travel, but recruits' parents know that when they go sign at a university, they're going to be close by to a lot of games, not only the home games, but the away games. And that's a huge advantage for our league, and makes it that much more special.
We come back out of the break, Coach, and we'll talk more in depth about the game, more about some of their personnel, people we need to be looking at. Their running back Noel, for instance. I think about the linebacker. They changed their defense a little bit, and they moved one from an anchor to a will, brings more speed in. Those type of things and what we should expect when we get to Boone.
Sounds great.
Coach Clay Helton, this is Terry Harvin. You're watching Hail Southern Live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro.
Hello, welcome to another bank. Please just say what you need help with.
Check my balance.
I heard pay a bill. Is that correct?
When you bank at Morris Bank, you won't be greeted with an automated response system or wonder if you're just another account number, because real relationships make community banking better. Morris Bank and Georgia Southern football were built on the same blue-collar mentality, and at Morris Bank, blue isn't just a part of our ad campaign, it's a part of our DNA. Morris Bank is proud to be the season-presenting sponsor of Georgia Southern football. Bleed blue, bank blue. Morris Bank, member FDIC.
Hi, this is former quarterback Kyle Van Treese. Name, image, and likeness, or NIL in college sports, is here to stay. We have the opportunity to be one of the leaders in our conference and in the group of five. To keep our championship standard and stay ahead of the rest, we must keep our best players and recruit the best as well. Thanks to the new Eagle Nation Collective, we're in a great position to do just that, but we can't do it without your support. Please help by becoming a member of the Eagle Nation Collective today. Sign up online at eaglenationnil.com and receive exclusive access to our student athletes that you can't get anywhere else. Join the Eagle Nation Collective at eaglenationnil.com.
The Eagles fly here.
Intercepted. It's picked off. Condry Jackson to the 30. He outruns Bradley to the 20, to the 10, to the 5. How about that on the second play? Wings up, Eagle Nation. Touchdown, Georgia Southern.
Hail Southern and GATA all season long.
He caught it. He caught it. A lightning bolt, 79 yards to the jet.
On the Georgia Southern Sports Network from Learfield.
Hey Eagle fans, this is Jared Benko. Renew your basketball season tickets today to watch Charlie Henry's first season leading the Eagles. Prices start at $100 for general admission and $150 for upper reserve. Reserve yours by calling 1-800-GSU-WINS or visit gseagles.com/tickets. Parking passes this season are also available to Earl Russell Fund donors for $100. Experience Georgia Southern basketball in its final full season at Hanner Fieldhouse. Renew your season tickets today. 1-800-GSU-WINS or gseagles.com/tickets.
Woo! Got my nachos, got my big TV, and my favorite chair. It's game time. But you know, the only thing that would make it a little better is if I could listen to my local broadcasters while watching the game.
Hello. You must have wished for your game to be synced with TV and radio.
I sure did.
Do you have a DVR?
You bet.
Do you have a streaming device?
Yeah.
Blammo! Your game is now synced. It's that easy.
Oh, boy.
To see if you can get synced, head to syncmygame.com from Learfield.
Syncmygame.com?
Syncmygame.com.
Put a smile on your face and put your hands together for the Houdinis of the hardwood, the human highlight reels that bring wow to the now, the world famous Harlem Globetrotters. This isn't just basketball, this is where what just happened happens all the time. Don't miss the Harlem Globetrotters 2024 World Tour presented by Jersey Mike Subs at Hanner Fieldhouse on December 15th. Go to harlemglobetrotters.com for tickets.
This is Hail Southern Live, powered by Learfield, live at Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Here's Danny Reed.
Welcome back to Wild Wing Cafe for Hail Southern Live. This is Terry Harvin. Alongside of me is Coach Clay Helton. A few minutes left to go in the game up at East Carolina. The Eagles trailing right now, 70-50. Hopefully we'll make a run and be able to pull this out. Coach, we're going to make a run up the mountain to Boone, North Carolina. Playing that old foe, Appalachian State. Well coached, a lot of talent you know about because it comes from this area as well. We cross paths a lot. We know each other very well. I'm looking at some of the guys watching the tape. I really like Nate Noel, the running back. I think the quarterback, who wasn't the original starter, but he stepped in and has done an amazing job to me. Offensive line is that typical App State offensive line. They're tough, they're gritty. Talk about some of the offense first.
Yeah, it starts with their run game. I think anytime you talk about Sean, being a past O-line coach, it starts with the run game and how the O-line is tied together. I think they've always done a tremendous job with their outside zone game, and then they lean on the play action off that outside zone. And they've really found somebody in Joey that has really not only managed the offense, but really has propelled the offense, especially over the last 3 games. You got to kind of pick your poison of what you're going to do. Are you going to play with even numbers in the box and allow the run to go, or are you going to match up one-on-one? And, at the end of the day, what Joey's been able to do is find those one-on-one situations, throw accurate balls to playmakers, and they're making plays down the field. So it's a really great marriage that's allowed them to be one of the top 25 scoring offenses in the country right now.
Historically, they've had some great wide receivers and great quarterbacks. In fact, they're going to recognize Armani Edwards on Saturday. And I know all Eagle Nation got the shakes when you hear that name, Armani Edwards, one of the toughest quarterbacks I've seen play. But offensively, you hit it around the head. They like to run the ball if he had his way. He's an old lineman, and he's going to throw those tight ends. But they do have the skilled players that can burn you deep.
Yeah, definitely. You're going to have to match up outside, and thank goodness one of our strengths right now is the ability to match up. I think Shamar and Hickman are doing an unbelievable job right now of being physical at the point of attack and coverage, and really forcing you to make some tight window throws. And so it's going to be a great matchup. I can't wait to see it. I think we're playing our best football defensively right now. You look at what our defense is from last year to what this year, and in basically every statistical category, they've improved by leaps and bounds, and they just had their best game. So I can't wait to be able to watch our defense go against a really good App State offense in a big game.
Speaking of defense, you got to also talk about App State's defense. And again, historically, App State has been known for linebackers. They'll have a safety that's really good. They do a really good job of a bull rush up front. And right on cue, they got their leading tackler, linebacker, Parker. But then they got a good freshman on the outside, Nate Johnson, huge kid. They kind of changed their defense up a little bit, as I mentioned earlier, moved Sullivan from the anchor to a Will, and that's brought some more speed at that linebacker.
Yeah, you got to start with their front. I think it's a multiple odd front that brings pressures from everywhere, interior pressures, but their edge pressure players are what I've been very impressed with. Nate Johnson, to be a freshman and be doing what he's doing right now, one of the best edge players in our league. And then E.J. Jackson, who's really a big nickel body. He's a 6 foot, 195, kind of half linebacker, half safety body. But they're great off the edge, and they force the run back inside. They play their corners and safeties type to the box. And what I was impressed with last week is I thought at JMU they really got the quarterback off balance, and I thought they brought different pressures with different coverages that they had not shown that marriage yet of that pressure tied to that coverage, and it really fooled the quarterback and got him off balance. So we're going to have to do a great job of being able to see what they're coming with. It seems to change each and every week. I think they mix it up pretty well. Between Coach Ellis, Coach Apple, and myself, we've got to do a great job of identifying, okay, what is today? What type of pressures are today, what type of coverages go with it, and be able to get it to our playmakers based off that.
You kind of hit it because they are going to show you different looks.
Yeah,
right?
No question.
Especially, again, those outside linebackers they have. I always think about App State defenses, that tough linebacker in the middle, but those quick guys that can run you down, that drop back in coverage, and that's kind of what I saw as I'm watching that game film. To your point, I haven't seen the JMU quarterback frazzled very much. And they did. They got to him back there.
Yeah, definitely. Not only did they get him off their spot, they made him make poor decisions in that game. And really, he looked confused about where to go with the ball. And that happens when you're getting hit and it's tight pressure on top of you and the coverages are a little bit different than you expected. It can get a quarterback, and it just wasn't his day. And credit to App State's defense. I thought they had by far their best game of the season right at the right time.
Let's move a little bit to special teams. Again, it could come down to special teams. Kickers missed, I think, maybe 3, but he's got a strong enough leg to hit from 54. I think that's his longest. Punter averages about 38. He's a left-footed Australian rules punter. We have one of those too. But they've also have a history of blocking kicks too.
Yeah, definitely. You know, they're aggressive in the special teams game just like we are. And you know, it really came down to special teams last year, if you remember this game. The efficiency in the field goal area, the ability to make some special plays. We faked a field goal in this game last year as a special play. And so, you know, I've always believed this is 2 teams that take a lot of pride in their special teams units and are ultra aggressive, and I expect nothing less this game.
Coach, I think we're going to have a very strong outfield. I know we'll have a good fan turnout for this ball game. It'll be sold out. They announced a sellout weeks ago, and we have fans asking us, do we have any tickets? And they're going on SeatGeek.com. So if you need some tickets, go to SeatGeek.com, which is one of our great partners, and you can find some tickets. So we definitely need Eagle Nation to continue to travel well. That's a big deal in an environment like this, to know you've got your people there.
Yeah, definitely. I've always been so impressed by Eagle Nation, whether we're at home or away. They're always with us, and that we travel so well as a football family and a university. And I can't wait to see Eagle Nation up there, right there with us. And we're going to fight like heck for our football family and our university, and hopefully come out 1-0 and have a great celebration.
As we wrap it up, Coach, I want to one more time touch back on the fan support at home. Paulson, the power of Paulson, and what that meant going 5-1.
Yeah, you know, we really wanted to go 6-0 for them. You know, we take a lot of pride in protecting Paulson. It's one of the more special places in all the country, one of the toughest places to play in all the country, and there's no better fan group. I've coached from North Carolina all the way out to California, and I've never seen a bunch that cares for the student athletes, the team. And you got to remember, this was a team that was founded by the community. Usually you see universities create football teams. This was founded by the community, and it's always been, the community has always been a part of this team. We carry them with us wherever we go, and we'll carry our community and all their hopes and dreams up to Boone, North Carolina, and we're going to fight like heck to make them happy on Saturday.
Ryan's reached out to us on Twitter as well and asked about recruiting. So the music hadn't started yet, so real quickly on recruiting.
Yeah.
Transfer portal is going to be opening up. People think it's all about going to the portal to get players. It's also about keeping our own.
Yeah, definitely. You have to recruit everybody, not only your players on your team, but, you know, obviously we've done really well thus far with our freshman recruiting, around 17 commitments right now, and which leaves us some spots just for some free agents off the portal to be in specific areas. But I can't thank Ryan Smith enough and Andrew Bevel enough for the job they're doing with our personnel and who they're bringing in. You can tell from last year's team to this year's team, we've improved each year. You know, from 21 to 22, we were a better team. From 22 to 23, we're a better personnel team. And now we've got the opportunity, hopefully, to get win number 7, maybe win number 8 in bowl game, and continue to progress forward in recruiting. And, you know, the month of December is a very important month when it comes to the portal and finishing off signing those freshmen as well as transfers.
If there's an area of emphasis in the portal, what would position-wise? We took quarterbacks the last 2 years, obviously, and other players, by the way. Now, we've had some great success with wide receivers coming out of there, too.
Yeah, you really got to see where your attrition is first. You know, we've got, as you improve as a team, you have not only discussions about portal, you have discussions about NFL, too. So you have to really, you know, see where your attrition is and see what your needs are based off injury, based off guys going to the NFL, based off guys, you know, possibly going to another school. We've been fortunate to keep a lot of our players here, and hopefully we'll do that again this year.
And hopefully you, Eagle Nation, will travel up to Boone, North Carolina. It's a great trip. It's a great environment. And hopefully you're going to see a great football game, which means Georgia Southern won. For Coach Clay Helton, my name is Terry Harvin, filling in for Danny Reed, and you've been watching Hail Southern Live from Wild Wing Cafe in Statesboro. Go Eagles, G-A-T-A, just one more time.